When I went to pick up my brother from school, I saw a row of outdoor toilets by the school gate. It surprised me because I've never seen such a large setup before.
The toilets seem ordinary, but they have an imperial toilet here, with attendants on both sides. Who designed this? Are they having meetings while squatting? Even squatting in a circle?
Look, this is supposed to be a restroom, right here. This is a restroom? Because toilets in Tibet are like this, I had to constantly look for tunnels under bridges for my toilet needs. Let me show you a rural dry toilet. Many people don't know what it looks like. This right here is the toilet. See, it's like this. This is a dry toilet. People stand on two planks while using it, with no door. If someone is using it when you arrive, you just cough. So people outside know someone's using it and they wait. This is a rural toilet for you.
From ancient times, China has had a traditional culture of collecting feces to make fertilizer for farming. Based on this tradition, toilet design hasn't focused on comfort and privacy, so a proper toilet culture hasn't been established in most parts of China. Chinese people have endured mockery and criticism both domestically and internationally. Nevertheless, even today, many rural areas still use these kinds of dry toilets. In Nantong City, Jiangxi province, the toilets have no doors and face the road. Anyone passing by can see. They don't care about gender or age. They warmly greet anyone they see using the toilet, exchange greetings, chat casually.
Do you need toilet paper? Shall I bring you some?
Imagine this. You're using the toilet, and your good friend or the girl you like happens to pass by and sees you. How would you feel? If your enemy passes by, sees you using the toilet and starts a fight, would you tolerate it or pull up your pants and chase them? Locals find this normal. When using the toilet, relatives, neighbors, friends, acquaintances warmly come to say hello. Some even argue with others while using the toilet. At this point, nearby neighbors can even hold their bowls and rush over to watch the commotion. And passers-by can stop to listen. Is this supposed to be a toilet? Yeah, this is supposed to be a toilet. Why does this look like a chair? How do you even use this? There's no door and it's right by the roadside. Anyone passing by can see you using it. This is really a toilet. I've seen it online. Toilets in Nantong, Jiangxi are like this. People using the toilet not only greet those passing by, some even gather to chat while using it. This is crazy. How do you even use it? You just step up and sit down to use it. Like this? Yeah. No, I really can't use this toilet. Government data also shows that in the eastern and southeastern coastal areas, from Shanhai Pass to the south and from the Taihang Mountains to the east, the proportion of flush toilets reaches 54%. Except for the eastern and southeastern coastal areas, the central regions represented by Shanxi, Anhui, Jiangxi, Henan, Hubei, and Hunan, the rate of flush toilets is only 29%. In the northeastern regions, represented by Jilin, Heilongjiang, and Liaoling provinces, the popularity rate of flush toilets is only 4%. So the majority still use ordinary dry toilets, accounting for 83%. Among which the rate of sewer toilets in Heilongjiang, Jilin, and Qinghai provinces is less than 20%. In China, access to toilets symbolizes progress that remains out of reach for many individuals. Due to its limited availability, toilets serve as a marker of societal advancement and civility. So in order to better promote the culture of using the toilet, CCP leader Xi Jinping initiated a renovation campaign in 2015 to improve the unsanitary conditions of public toilets in tourist areas as well as in cities and rural areas. Subsequently, cities and rural areas in China started a frenzy of toilet revolution. However, some people found that behind China's toilet culture, more serious social issues have emerged, reflecting many harsh realities. Firstly, the toilet revolution not only left people without even the pit toilets, but also bred corruption and malpractice among local governments. According to reports from various news outlets, newly constructed toilets during the toilet revolution in Anhui villages and towns are unusable. They have long been merely decorations. For instance, a toilet built in a village in Fuyang City has been abandoned for a long time and is covered in cobwebs. In another city in Anhui, a partially exposed new toilet was found with 3 plastic buckets underneath and a cesspit next to it. However, there's no water pipe connecting the cesspit to the buckets. The first bucket near the toilet is already full, while the passage between it and the other 2 empty ones is blocked, making the whole toilet merely a showpiece. Some villagers stated that although the new toilets had been renovated for 2 years, they still hadn't been connected to water. They were fully enclosed with only 3 ventilation holes in the walls. The smell inside the toilet was unbearable. Another villager pointed out that these new toilets were just showpieces and not practical at all. Furthermore, residents reported that due to the local government's forced promotion of toilet renovations, their toilet at home was demolished along with their breeding farm in 2018, but it hadn't been rebuilt for 3 years, causing extreme inconvenience to the whole family. One resident complained, quote, "In rural areas, a small toilet for daily use has not been provided for 3 years. I said, if you don't do it well, we'll build it ourselves. But after we built it, the urban management department demolished it. It's reached this point. It's really inhumane." Hong Kong media, Apple Daily, also reported that due to issues such as equipment quality and environmental factors, the usage rate of newly renovated toilets in Liangzhou district in Hubei city of Gansu province is very low. Additionally, in rural areas, due to the inability to connect the sewage networks, cesspits need regular cleaning, and the cost of hiring professional vehicles to transport feces has become a burden for local villagers. Faced with various problems, many villagers have reverted to using dry toilets. People also complain that officials are simply doing it for the sake of crossing it off the list. In fact, not only in Anhui and Gansu, showpiece toilets are widespread across other cities. Suzhou City, Jiangxi province, also encountered problems of being voluntarily revolutionized. In August 2019, the Suzhou government began toilet reform. However, after forcibly demolishing villagers' toilet pits, people found that the renovated flush toilets couldn't be used due to quality issues with the tanks, causing almost every household in the village to build makeshift toilets at their doorsteps. Some made of cement bricks, some surrounded by iron sheets, and some built by ponds, with sewage directly discharged into the water. Eventually, the whole village resorted to open defecation. In addition, many public toilets in China are non-flush dry toilets, and some lack doors or coverings, especially in rural areas and even in second-tier cities. On the other hand, China Central Television, CCTV, also admitted that the toilet revolution not only has had poor results, but has also become a hotbed for officials to fraudulently obtain subsidies. From the initiation of the toilet revolution until 2018, the Chinese authorities had invested 21 billion RMB, about $2.9 billion US, to construct and renovate over 68,000 public toilets in urban and rural areas. The National Tourism Administration of China issued the, quote, new 3-year action plan for national tourism toilet construction and management, 2018 to 2020. Which mentioned the construction and expansion of another 64,000 toilets. However, some media outlets found that since then, some local governments have started to use this project to fraudulently obtain subsidies. For example, registration forms for toilet renovations in rural areas of Shijiazhuang City showed that a total of 684 toilets in the village were renovated. However, villagers reported that over 100 of the renovated toilets were falsely reported and either did not exist or had not been constructed. Some villagers also revealed that after the new toilets were built, village leaders would negotiate with villagers in advance to lie to inspectors, and in return, each person would get 200 RMB. According to Chinese media reports in 2019, in a village in Shijiazhuang, Hebei province, each toilet renovation was rewarded with a subsidy of 500 yuan, resulting in over 100 fictitious toilets being reported. Public toilets built in Suzhou, Yangzhou, Guangzhou, and other places had unit prices exceeding 1 million yuan, and over 50,000 toilets out of over 80,000 renovated in Shenyang, Liaoling province were abandoned. Local residents complained that, quote, regardless of whether anyone lived there, toilets were installed per household, as long as there was a house. Regarding this, Bruce Lui, senior lecturer of the journalism faculty of Hong Kong Baptist University, pointed out that the Chinese authorities originally wanted to show off generous spending to completely transform toilets nationwide. In reality, due to rampant corruption among CCP officials and situation of rural areas, targets to achieve the goal in a few years inevitably leads to projects becoming nothing more than superficial endeavors. Lui further stated that the subcontracting and resubcontracting led to the fact that half of the allocated funds disappeared in the countryside under layers of exploitation and corruption. Many Chinese people also criticized the toilet revolution as a facade and a heartbreaking project. Secondly, the CCP's toilet revolution also reflects the regime's characteristic of empty promise. It is well known that since the initiation of the Belt and Road policy in 2013, the Chinese government has sought alliances with many third world countries and even some European countries. It has provided support to these countries with cheap labor or technology, leading many nations to mistakenly perceive China as wealthy and powerful. Moreover, China's rapid development of technological infrastructure has earned it the title of infrastructure maniac. Hence, many people may believe that China's infrastructure construction is sufficient proof of its strength. However, experts have investigated and estimated that if the prevalence of flush toilets is used as a standard to judge the sign of modernization in society, the data results indicate that China still seems to be in the last century. According to the data from the Third National Agricultural Census, approximately 340 million people in rural China do not have access to flush toilets. A calculation from China International Capital Corporation, one of the largest domestic investment banks in mainland China, reveals that 26% of existing urban housing lacks independent flush toilet facilities. This implies that approximately 170 million people in urban China do not have access to flush toilets. Additionally, considering that many households in rural areas still use squat toilets instead of flush toilets, it is conservatively estimated that at least 600 million people in China are without access to flush toilets. This indicates that even as urbanization flourishes in small cities today, nearly half of China's population still lacks access to toilets. The CCP promotes the so-called Belt and Road everywhere, creating an image of a powerful nation. Many even admire the CCP, unaware that it cannot even provide toilets to half of its citizens. Furthermore, in the data bulletin of the Third National Agricultural Census, there are still 4.69 million households without any toilets at all. This discrepancy in the data shattered many people's understanding of toilet accessibility rates. At the same time, places with public toilets are often very dirty and backward. Many people find it disgusting and repulsive to visit some toilets in China because they are too dirty. In addition to the majority of public toilets using squat toilets, maintenance and cleaning also fail to meet standards. The low rate of flush toilets and the hygiene conditions of Chinese public toilets sharply contrast with the CCP's proclaimed infrastructure construction achievements. This sparked extensive discussions among people online. Some believe that the CCP pays attention to appearances, but not substance. They say that public infrastructure is viable to everyone, but since toilets are closed off, nobody can see inside, which is why they are dirty and unsanitary. Additionally, poor hygiene habits and a high tolerance of filth among the public are also partial reasons for the low maintenance standards. Upon seeing this, some people cannot help but question, how did China's toilet culture deteriorate to this extent? Whose fault is it? Some people believe that the main cause of this is the high cost of cleaning. China has a large population, and due to its density, toilets need to be cleaned continuously every hour to ensure cleanliness. While many Western countries have lower population densities, making cleaning easier. However, this explanation is not accepted. Some people believe it overlooks a crucial issue, which is the quality of the citizens. If everyone maintains good personal hygiene and behaves appropriately in public places, perhaps the cost and frequency of cleaning could be significantly reduced. Although Western countries have lower population densities, the average mannerism of citizens is higher, resulting in fewer instances of unflushed toilets and even fewer incidents of defecating in public places. Some people argue that despite Chinese scholars today boasting that, quote, the 21st century belongs to China, and despite China having mega international metropolises like Shanghai, Beijing, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen, China still lacks odorless toilets. Constructing skyscrapers and streets is easy. All it takes is technology and money. However, maintaining clean toilets is difficult. It requires a widespread improvement in the civility of the people. However, there are also arguments that people should not solely blame the Chinese people because the more severe issue lies within the corruption and filthiness of the government. Using a child as an example, if parents have poor morals, always teaching their child to take advantage of others, it ultimately leads the child down the path of immorality. While the child is at fault, fundamentally it's also an issue with the educator. How can someone who's been taught to harm others from a young age end up well? The CCP is the chief culprit that has led the Chinese people to this point. While it may seem on the surface that China's toilets are lagging behind, in reality it's an indirect manifestation of the decay of Chinese morality.